Hi, my greetings to everyone, and thank you again for coming back to this channel. My name is Avnish Kumar, and today we are going to discuss about the physical. In the last blog, we talked about the physicality of anything. Now, in this blog, we carry forward that decision, and in today's blog, we will look into the another aspects of physicality. What essentially means another aspects of physicality, since we know physicality in as such is nothing, it is just a consequence of something. Like I can touch myself, so the physical nature of myself essentially is the result of accretion of masses, little masses, that is called fermions. The matter, whatever is composed of, is out of fermions, the subatomic particles, and these fermions are glued by bosons. In the If I talk about the particle physics terms, the fermions and bosons essentially the building block of any matter in this universe. I should not say the building block, however, smaller particles are there also, like quarks, and quarks can be further divided or subdivided into different subparticles. So, and this race won't end. You will keep on dividing. This is the beauty uh, of matter, since matter in itself as such is nothing. It's never existed. Whatever we are seeing is the temporary state of something. It's something like that you are going from your home to your office, and from your home to your office you are covering the distance by car. So the being in car is a temporary kind of thing, or the actual thing is at office or is at home, and car is just the medium to get you from your home to your office. Similarly, this physical body matter essentially is a temporary state where it is being reflected. The main thing is not matter, something else. What is that something else? We will look, or we will talk about that something else in today's lecture. The modern day science says the space which we are seeing is three dimensional. It never means that it is limited to three dimensions. There are other dimensions which are orthogonal to these three dimensions, and I am quoting this word from some famous spiritual guru from India. He says that nature has opened our sense perception according to our survival. Up to some extent, I do agree on this statement, but after some point further go into discussion, I do disagree. Look, if you see bacteria on your body, that it become very hard to you to eat anything, since we know B shares microbiology with everything which is there. On your hand, if you can see at the micro scale, you can see the n number of bacteria, and you will die by fear of yourself. So you won't be able to survive. However, if you look through microscope, you can see that micro world, Does that mean if you are not seeing, the world is not existing? It is existing. The same thing with the dimensions. So, for your survival, for any living thing to carry forward his living nature, at least three dimension is required. In order to flourish life, the three dimensions are required. That's why this life is limited to three dimensions. However, it never states you cannot cross that three dimension. You can cross that three dimensions. The other dimension in Minkowski space, we say the fourth dimension is the time, and it is coupled with that space. So it is kind of injustice saying that time and space are different. They are same. It is a kind of discrimination with time. Time is very beautiful. In the next blog we will talk about the time, but the the idea behind time, why time is in picture, how we count time, if there is something called time, or this is a false perception perceived by your body. But in today's discussion we will be limited to the space only. Since I am talking about space in this blog, the physical nature of anything is embedded in space. If there is a space and there is a matter, the way this matter interact with space, if this interaction is perceivable, then we call it physical. In the last lecture we had learned that the physicality is omnipresent. It is just your way of perception, how you are perceiving thing. The day you started perception, touching your emotions, flowing your emotions, they become physical for you. It is kind of very absurd to say that I feel feelings of someone and I can see the feelings of someone. Saying I can feel the feelings of someone is quite understandable. However, saying that I can see his feeling is a kind of an idiotic thing to this world. They will say nobody can see the feeling. If I am happy, you can see my expression. From that you are kind of understanding that I might be happy, that's why I am laughing. But there is not any meter which says, look, like thermometer 37 degrees Celsius, if above 37 degrees Celsius we say this guy has a temperature, means fever. This thing is not with the emotions. The day you started to perceive or learn to perceive and touch that dimension, everything becomes physical. So this physicality is limited to your space and time, not time, to space and matter. Essentially matter is also in space. Since a matter is only defined on a space, if you don't have any space, you don't have any matter. Matter in any dimension has x, y and z axis, which essentially tells the space. So talking about space essentially means you are talking about matter. So this sort of physical transaction between space and matter is physicality. When there is a space, then there is a matter, and if you can feel or perceive that interchange or the transaction happening between space and matter and matter, then you can say physical. If I can touch the ball behind me, then I say this thing is physical. If I cannot touch that thing, I say this is not physical. Does that mean having something or having nothing? In first case, you have something to define. In other case, you don't have something, so you cannot define. However, there is a space. The space can be vacuum, where there is no particle. It essentially means that it has an ability to undertake the matter. In your vacuum, there is no matter. However, there is wave. There is boson. Boson can be there since boson has zero rest mass. I don't know since I have not read about the entire boson theory. So, from my crude knowledge, I am stating like photon. Most of the particle which have the, I think, integral spin, they are bosonic in nature. Like non-integral spin of half 3/2, they are in fermionic in nature. They constitute the mass, whereas boson glued the mass. So every like photon 0, 1, 2, these are the integral spin particles. They are considered as bosonic in nature, and they don't have any rest mass. So the term vacuum in itself is a contradictory. So in vacuum you cannot have fermion, but you can have boson. If it is moving, it has the mass. If it is stopped, then it has no mass. So you cannot say that vacuum don't have any mass. It has boson which is moving and which has the mass. So I will stop here this lecture on a note that the definition of physicality is not only the perception, it is the interaction or the transaction between space and matter, space and space, matter and matter. No matter you are able to perceive it or not perceive it. Your perception is merely dependent upon your sense organs. But the physicality of anything is way beyond this physical nature. So limiting physicality of anything to your sense perception is not a full definition. It requires another perspective, that is the transaction between matter and matter, the transaction between space and matter, the transaction between space and space is essentially the building block for physicality. That's all. I hope the things are little confusing. As we move further into the deeper details, this thing become little clear. So bye bye, and we will meet in a new lecture. In the new lecture we will talk about time and the physicality of time. Have a nice day. Bye bye.